So who are you and what do you do?
Okay, my name is Stasia. I'm from Moscow, Russia, and I'm a practitioner philosopher for last 5 years. Practicing or practical philosophy means that you make not just theoretical issues, or that you implement something existential that can help people. Yeah, I'm trying to implement some critical thinking skills. And I'm making courses, workshops for teachers in Affra School.
Okay. So what sort of training programs are you conducting at Affra Schools?
It's like a combination of several aspects. We making weekly workshops, 2 or 3 times a week. And the main idea is that we train some critical thinking skills. There are 5 of them, the main one, and it's argumentation, interpretation, conceptualization, problematization, and questioning. All of them help to make you more conscious, more confident in the way you think. Can you help you to provide diverse hypotheses and to look from a different angle on the things that you were quite believe in, or you find them too obvious. So normally it makes you more conscious and more free to try something new and to implement it. For example, if you're talking about teachers in school, to implement it in the way how you teach a child, and to help him not just to be, let's say, knowledgeable, but to provide him more widespread skills that he can use, not just in his school life, but in or professional life, but just in daily.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the part about workshops. It means that on workshop, the teachers share the, let's say, home task that they did previously, and we discuss it. We find some problems in it, and we try to reformulate the question that they're dealing. For example, now I took the local Kerala tales, folk tales, to work with. And why tales? Because first of all, it's local, it's known, it's well spread in Kerala, and so it's quite familiar to the teachers itself. Then it helps us to see the different layers of the tale, because normally we used to see the moral that is quite superficial. But if we have just this moral, we don't go deep, we don't analyze that much the plot itself, the relationships between the characters, or the signs or metaphors from the folk, from the tale. But the work with tale helps us, the questioning the tale, questioning by ourselves, helps us to get how we can use it in a more deep way, and also it helps us to see how differently we ask something, how differently we put our questions, because normally we put other factual questions about some data that is contained, or about some imagination questions that gives us just the opportunity to talk or to express ourselves. But quite rare we pose such questions that help us to analyze, to compare just facts, but not to implement ourselves in these facts. So just to operate with information. But this skill is quite crucial skill, because it helps teachers and children in future to understand how I can operate with the information that is coming up to me, not to be just blind believer, but to be self confident in the analysis that I'm doing and to be able to be quite objective in this analysis. So that's why now we posing different types of questions to the tail. So to first of all to see that there are different types, to see how can I use the work with tail itself, and then to help teachers to have their own idea how they can implement this work with tails maybe in their educational process, or to take some ideas from the way how we do it and to implement this to the way how they teach, and to pose more questions, like more thinking questions to the children, so children as well can let's say implement or provide their own ideas, not just to give some knowledge, some data, but some ideas that help, that shows that they somehow make some mental work. As the workshops is the one thing that, yes, the one training program that we are doing, and also I gave to teachers some personal feedback, for example about their work, because they have some kind of common mistakes, let's say, yeah, but still some teachers have particularities in one side, some in another side. So normally I give personal feedback, so each of them would point their attention at something specific that is quite specific to them, so they have an idea in which way they should improve themselves. And as well, we create some WhatsApp chat where we share our problems, our ideas, where I put all feedback I give to them. And as well, I put there some hints or ideas about theoretical basis, how critical thinking can help in the process of communication between teachers and children. Yeah, so that's how they can, first of all, they can come back to all this information because it's all in one. We have only one chat for this thinking processes. And so they can go there and just keep in mind or come back to some interesting ideas that they can think about, or think to how they can implement them in their daily school life.
Very interesting. And which key areas do you focus on in your training?
The main key area is consciousness, because it's the basis of everything. So what we are doing now with teachers, these workshops, it's about increasing their level of consciousness, and it's about being more calm, because as I observed among Indians and among teachers in common, that in general, that it's quite common that we're too preoccupied with ourselves. We're preoccupied how we look like, what they think about me when I'm doing something. So when, for example, a teacher or any person hear a question, it makes him nervous. But this nervousness is just my emotional state that blocks my thinking processes, and that's why it's very important just to calm down and to help teachers to calm down, to put the energy from this suffering or preoccupation to the mental processes, so they just can focus on the analysis. And what I observed that in 5 workshops, I guess, that we already made, this is quite visible that they started to be more concentrated on what they're doing, but not how they're doing or how they look like, or can I share something, or I should keep silence. So consciousness is the one of the crucial things. Then it's attentiveness to my own speech, to my own thoughts and to the speech and attitude of others. When I'm attentive, it means that I'm more perceiving. I can have much more information from the outside than if I would just be hesitated or preoccupied or worried or whatever. So attentiveness is again putting energy from this nervousness to mentality, and being focused, being present in reality and being focused on what's happening. And it's, let's say, diversity and flexibility. Because as far as I as well observed, it's quite common here to be in belief, to be in some statement that I take as given, but I don't think about it. I don't hesitate about it. I don't question it. And I just put this authority on me without any word, without any doubt. But when you try to present some diverse ideas, when you try to think from different angles, when you try to think even from opposite perspective, it helps you to be more attentive and more perceiving to the views that are quite opposite, quite different from your own, and still you can understand them. You can understand how they function. You won't be just in pure resistance or in pure stubbornness towards them. You would be quite perceiving and try to understand how they work, because it's not only that children are different, they can be from different religions, for example. It makes this diversity quite important, because it helps teachers and children as well to have a clue how I can work with all these different shows. So that's as well helped me to work with them and to show that this diversity improve the flexibility of their mind, and help them to work with children, to make this work more fulfilling, let's say, and give them much more opportunities to build the program, the education program.
Thank you.